What happens when sibling rivalry hits the political arena? Welcome to another episode of You Can't Make This Shit Up. I'm your host, Joel Hoxley, David Washington. Tell us what's going on, David.
All right. So, in the midst of a fiery political contest, Representative LaVon Bracy Davis has thrown a curveball by endorsing her brother, Randolph Bracy's opponent, State Senator Geraldine Thompson, in the Democratic primary for Florida's Senate District 15. The endorsement has stirred a family feud, with Randolph accusing his sister of jealousy. The campaign trail has become contentious, with lawsuits and allegations flying between the candidates. Thompson defends her residency and promises to fight back in court. Wow.
Well, when you're in politics, the first thing we always tell you is make sure you have your family support. Make sure you know who doesn't support you. And, if this was out there, you should have been way in front of it.
Sure.
So, and I don't think it's jealousy. Listen, I think it may be hard. They don't like each other. Maybe they had a tough growing up together. Or maybe Geraldine Thompson's a better senator than he was, and she just doesn't want to have to deal with that, or she gets more accomplished because he's a roadblock because of their childhood. We will never know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
and this popped off publicly when Representative Bracy Davis, with the rest of the Democratic Central Florida Democratic Central Florida, what do they call it? Contingent caucus, whatever, legislative caucus, jointly supported and endorsed Senator Thompson. So this was a joint statement, which she's a part of that caucus, in support of Senator Thompson. So this boiled over into the public, into the media, and now we're seeing a family, divided.
No, it's Family Feud. You can watch that. It has a really good host on it and everything. Listen, we don't even know if the organization, how the organization, she voted inside the organization on this. Maybe she did support her brother until she had to take a face, the face of the organization. But, I'm just saying that what makes better newspaper fodder than sister won't support brother in Senate race.
Mm-hmm.
Bracy doesn't endorse Bracy. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. We're a soundbite society. If a soundbite's going to work, we're going to work it, and that's what's going on here. So
right, and we're seeing the Democrats here, at least in Orange County. There's some infighting in the Democratic caucus of some really high profile names who are facing each other in primaries in August. Not just Thompson versus Bracy, but you have Arrington versus Torres. You have Uribe versus Stewart. And there's some other races out there where you've got, some well-known Democrats facing other well-known Democrats in the party.
People
and
trying to get their seat back.
Yeah, get their seat back. Morales versus, Harris. And we're going to see some good people, be retired from politics. We're going to see some good people move on, and when we do need good Democrats to face off against, the amnesties, for instance, we struggle to find.
Well, you need to find legislators to start with. You need to
Mhm.
find legislators that are going to be able to get legislation passed for your causes. Okay. And that means you're going to have to find a Democrat that's able to work with Republicans. I mean, we had Anna Escamani on here, and you think, okay, well, she's a firebrand, and she's not getting it, not getting listened to. She's ignored. She gets a lot of stuff done. She understands that she can attach certain things to certain bills, and if she does it the right way, she gets things done.
Mhm.
So maybe her name's not blazing on it, but if you take a little bit of this legislation and you move it as an amendment or something like that, you get things done. You really need to be that smart kind of person in there, and evaluate who you have in there or what you want to keep. I think that maybe Thompson gets a lot more done. I mean, we heard Bracy talk about how he worked with, he lied about his entire, you know,
Legislative record.
yeah, his legislative record when he was running for Congress. So how are you going to trust him now? But that's personal opinion, guys. I listened and I knew what his record was, and what he was saying didn't match. But that was a strange race as it was, because
Yeah.
you had the retiree crew against the young buck. The people in that race, man.
It's quite the race. They were all caught off guard. All of them were caught off
I
guard.
just got out of prison and I want to be your
Jesus.
congresswoman.
No, no, no. And that's another thing. We're seeing the same
The
names
Republican,
over and over and over
the
again, and we
Republican
need
health care
fresh
plan.
blood. We need new people. The Democrats need a bench, and we're seeing. We had Victor Torres in his Senate district, and we're looking at the possibility of his wife to replace him. Senator Linda
Isn't
Stewart.
that the way it always happens? Like family
Well,
members go in.
yeah, we see that a lot, but there are so many other potential candidates who should be running, and just need the support of their Democratic brothers and sisters in the Democratic organization. And this is just not with just the Democrats, it's the Republicans too. I think it's just different extremes. But, to see this happening in West Orange with Senator Thompson and former Senator Bracy, it's disheartening. And you have two really good families who have served their communities very well. It would have been nice if it was maybe someone younger, someone who is closer to the community than the two of them, the whole community, than the two of them who also ran in that race.
I don't have much to say on this one. I love a good family feud. They do. Like I said, we're a soundbite society. Look, you guys got a lot of work to do. I'm sure Tom Keene is shaking lots of hands right now, thanking every single Democrat for not running against him.
Hmm.
But he needs to be careful, and I'm going to say that right straight to the camera, because we're coming after him on our side. We have a primary. Primaries are prime time to work on those skills and get your name out there. So, you know what, Tom? It might be a keen idea that you get ready.
That being said, for all the candidates out there, time is running out. Vote by mail ballots to out of state military and out of state residents are going out right after the holiday weekend. So prepare for that, and not too far behind. The vote by mail ballots for everyone else are going out soon after. So The election cycle for August is coming to a close. And remember, elections won in the vote by mail and early voting. So if your strategy does not include that concept, you're likely going to lose.
Like, share, subscribe, become part of the our family. Uh, Make comments. Maybe the Bracys will comment on their fight here, but bring your facts, not your feelings. We don't care about your feelings. Thank you.
Thank you. This is You Can't Make This Shit Up. We are J&Washington. We are your political innovators. We'll see you the next time.